Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, we are expecting to hear from Pitt County deputies and officials about a double homicide that occurred earlier today. Police have been investigating. We have a crew live on the scene right now, waiting again for that press conference to begin. Once it does, we will be taking it live right here on the First Alert Desk to give you guys the latest information that is being shared by law enforcement. But before we get to that, again, that press conference still has yet to start. It's expected to start now at 2 o'clock, but we will wait for them to get organized. And in the meantime, we will go over your full weather forecast as we are looking at sunny skies currently, but cloud cover will gradually roll in later on this evening. And that is actually going to be doing us some favors for your New Year's Eve celebrations, in that the air temps aren't going to be falling quite as fast because of those clouds. They're going to act as an atmospheric blanket, doing us some favors in terms of air temperatures. If you're planning on staying out late tonight to ring in the new year, you'll still need a jacket, but at least it won't be in the mid-20s. Right now, we've got air temps in the mid-40s in Greenville. This is a view through our Pitt Greenville Airport cam. Westerly wind right now, making a 46-degree air temperature. Feels slightly cooler, feels like 44 degrees. Washington right now enjoying the same beautiful blue skies, 46-degree air temp. West-southwesterly wind at 10 miles an hour. Feels like 41. I want to highlight, though, the fact that our dew points right now are down generally in the teens and low 20s. Very dry air mass is not good for fire danger. It increases the fire danger. So please, if you can, try to leave the fireworks to the professionals tonight. If you can avoid burning, it would be doing you and your neighbors a big service by reducing the risk of any of those sparks or flames from getting a little bit out of control. But current air temperatures across the east right now reading in the mid to upper 40s. We've got 49 degrees in Jacksonville as well as Stumpy Point, 48 in Kenansville as well as Kinston and Goldsboro, 47 degrees showing up in Beaufort, Oriental, New Bern, and Rocky Mount. We've got 46 degrees currently in Swan Quarter, Washington, as well as Greenville. A little bit cooler, though, as you get around the Albemarle Sound. Right now, 43 degrees in Elizabeth City, 41 in Manteo. We've got 45 in Edenton. Now, as far as where we were yesterday compared to where we are today, certainly much warmer. Upwards around, 4 to 8 degree rise across most of eastern North Carolina over the past 24 hours. That's change you can feel. Now, as we make our way through the rest of the day, we will maintain those sunny skies until we get past sunset. That's when the cloud cover will really start to roll into eastern North Carolina. But also note the southwesterly winds. That will help us keep some of the heat we've gained today down at ground level, and it will lead to, again, at least a slightly more comfortable New Year's Eve night celebration. Overnight lows tonight going to be getting down into the mid-30s, but by the time we reach midnight, we're going to be kind of hovering right around the upper 30s across most of eastern North Carolina. Those of you watching around Jacksonville and Atlantic Beach, you guys may end up staying at around that 40-degree mark. So kind of anticipate anywhere between around 37 to around 41 degrees by the time we ring in the new year. Classic sunny skies for today, but then clouds roll in later on this evening, only to depart again as we make our way into your Thursday. Thursday classified as a partly to mostly sunny day. There will be cloud cover, though, closer to the Virginia line. So if you are watching across Bertie County or Edgecombe, Halifax, Northampton, Hertford, Gates counties, or even on the north side of the Albemarle Sound, you guys may end up seeing a little bit more cloud cover than your southern neighbors. Not to worry, everyone is going to be clouding up by the time we reach Friday and then get into Saturday. Saturday's when the rain showers are expected to show up. For right now, the raindrops still crashing upon the west coast. You see that area of low pressure near Los Angeles. That's going to continue to work its way up towards San Francisco before kind of making a hard right turn off to the east, moving over Nevada and Utah, eventually reaching us here in eastern North Carolina by the time we get into Saturday. Once it gets over the Rocky Mountains, it's going to pick up, the jet stream is going to pick it up and help really accelerate that system across the country and finally give us the raindrops that we have been needing for the past several days. We will get that coming in by the time we reach, I would say, your Saturday afternoon to Saturday evening. Here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. 47 for today, 57 coming up for tomorrow, and then it's hello 60 degrees on Friday. Of course, that 60 degrees comes with mostly cloudy skies, but you know what? We'll take the warmth when we can get it in the middle of winter. Saturday, temperatures will be cooler as we will receive a little bit less sunshine. Mostly, if not completely cloudy skies coming up for Saturday. Includes a 60% chance of rain. Sunday, completely dry. Air temperature staying fairly consistent. But we lose out again on the cloud cover and the rain showers. So if you're a little bit bummed with the start of the first weekend of 2026, not to worry. Everything again will clear out by Sunday. We'll really start to warm up through next week. 55 degrees on Monday, 62 on Tuesday, and 64 degrees by Wednesday. Again, it does look like that press conference is beginning to start. For those of you, again, just joining us, want to take you through exactly what we have seen, what we know so far about this case. Again, here is a look at the scene earlier today. It happened in North Pitt County near Deborah Court. Now, again, this is a double homicide. Deputies are currently investigating the home at Deborah Court. Sheriff Paula Dance says that deputies got a call to the home at around 9:24 a.m. this morning. Dance says that a married couple was found dead at the home. She was not ready to say how they believe the pair died, but we are hoping to get that information at this upcoming press conference. The sheriff says that they have a person of interest already in custody. And again, this is a developing story that we will continue to stick with. But right now, again, we are waiting for Sheriff Paula Dance to take the podium. Still has yet to happen. We'll give you kind of a live look at exactly where we're at right now as far as the press conference. The microphone's set up, the podium's set up. We are still waiting for officials to head over there and start talking. Now, we do want to, again, highlight some of the other news that is happening across the country. And we will start with, well, some New Year's preparations. I know parts of Eastern North Carolina going to be having their own celebrations, but I know many of us always look towards New York City as far as New Year's Eve celebrations go. The Big Apple is legendary for the big ball drop and the party that occurs at Times Square. NBC's Emily Akeda has more on the preparations and what they have done so far.
Well, hello from Times Square, where the NYPD is out in full force monitoring the crossroads of the world, as some 1 million people are expected to pack into Times Square to witness the ball drop just behind me. And it's an event that the city prepares for all year long, and this year there will be even more officers out patrolling the crowd and making sure the celebrations go smoothly and safely. In addition to the officers, there will be heavily armored tactical units, drones, dogs, eyes on the ground and in the sky. You may hear the whir of helicopters overhead. The NYPD says there's no specific credible threat to this year's New Year's Eve celebrations, but the department here and in major cities across the country acting with a lot of vigilance, especially just 1 year out from the awful terror attack in New Orleans. The other thing that officials are closely watching this year, the weather. Millions of people from Minnesota to Maine are facing frigid, dropping temperatures. Out west in California, revelers could see a downpour for the first time during the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California in some 20 years. I'll tell you, it's raining something different in New York City tonight. Confetti, which I just learned is in the shape of a square in honor of Times Square. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Emily, for that report. We now want to turn to that press conference as it is starting to begin right now as Sheriff Paula Dance has stepped to the podium. Here again is the latest from the double homicide investigation. Okay, it does look like they are still getting microphone checks and everything, again, still kind of coming together. We, of course, will bring you the latest as it happens. But right now, again, everyone's still kind of getting together for that press conference. I do apologize about the delay. This is one of those things where, you know, New Year's Eve happens and things go a little bit slower on the holidays. But right now, again, Paula Dance is getting ready. Sheriff Paula Dance is getting ready to, again, give us the details of what they know about that double homicide in Pitt County that happened earlier this morning. Again, happened on the at a home on Deborah Court. I believe that's on the north side of Pitt County. Again, we will turn to that coming up in just a few moments. Okay, and it does sound like we are waiting on one of the police or deputy captains from the sheriff's office in Pitt County to step in and join the press conference. Once that happens, they are set to begin. Of course, we will go live coming up here with that in just a few moments. Again, everything is still getting set up. Here is a look at the scene, though, and it does look like Paula Dance has stepped to the podium. And again, right now, they are still doing sound checks. We will have more sound from the sheriff coming up in just a few moments. But again, everything is still kind of coming together. As you can see, they're trying to, again, get everything set up for this press conference and going through just the general sound checks, the microphone checks, the white balancing, everything it takes to really get a press conference live and up and running. They're kind of going through those steps as we speak.
Yes, this morning our office received a call about two people in our residence that appear to have been wounded. Upon getting to the scene, we did find two people inside of a residence. EMS came in and these people were declared dead at that point, or deceased. Of course, our investigation began immediately. The person who called in was able to relay information to us of a potential suspect, which was a resident of that home as well. Based upon that information, two things were happening twofold. One, we were looking for the person of interest. Two, we were beginning our investigation into the two deceased people inside of the residence. At this time, we can say that our person of interest is in custody. That person's name is Martinez Correll Ruffin, 34 years old. Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z. Correll, C-O-R-R-E-L-L. Ruffin, R-U-F-F-I-N. Black male, 34 years of age. Mr. Ruffin was found somewhere in the vicinity, a few miles away, in relation to the residence, and was taken into custody. There appears to have been evidence upon himself and what was with him that would have definitely put him as a part of this crime. He has, at this time, been charged with 2 open counts of murder with 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury. The victims in this case was a husband and wife, 73-year-old Rayfield Ruffin, and his wife, 67-year-old Frances Ruffin, both of the home. It appears that Mr. Martinez Ruffin is the grandson of the victims in this case. If there are any other questions, I can answer what I can.
How were they killed? Was it a shooting or a stabbing, or was it something else?
At this time, it appears to have been blunt force trauma to the bodies and also knife wounds that would have been incurred by a knife.
When he was found, was he in a vehicle or was he on foot?
The suspect was found on foot.
At this time in the investigation, do you know what kind of motivation he might have had to do this?
It's too early in the investigation to be able to make a statement on that.
Now, there was a little boy who was accidentally killed at the same address last year. Do you know if this, can you confirm that this was the same place, and were they at all related?
Upon the information I've been given, this is the same place. Upon my recollection and information given to me, this is the same residence.
Do you know if the suspect was related to that little boy?
I don't know for sure, but I know that the little boy in that particular case was related to the deceased. I know that the suspect is related to the deceased. So one can only assume at this point.
Was the little boy their grandchild or great-grandchild? Do you know?
You're asking me about a case that happened a while back. I do know that he may have been a grandson, maybe. I'm not sure, but I do know that there was some relation.
So when he was found, you said that there was...
Let's interrupt one quick thing, please. CRV, that was a typo.
Okay.
Correct that middle name.
Corvell.
It's
Corvell?
Corvell, Ruffin. Yeah, Martinez, Corvell.
Could you spell the names of the 2 deceased, please?
The deceased,
Yes, ma'am.
73-year-old Rayfield Ruffin. That's Rayfield Ruffin. The 67-year-old female Frances Ruffin. Frances Ruffin.
When the individual, the suspect was found, you said that there... I'm sorry, did you say there was an item or there was evidence he had been at?
There was evidence that this suspect was involved in the crime that occurred at the residence.
And was that blood on his clothes, or did he have either the knife or the blunt object on him?
We have taken his clothes into evidence because we do believe that there's something sufficient enough for us to take those clothing that would relate to the crime. There was one knife that was found on the suspect, but let me point out that there were several potential items or weapons that may have been used to cause the blunt force trauma and the infliction of knife wounds upon the bodies of the deceased.
Could you repeat those charges again?
I'm sorry?
Could you repeat the charges again?
He took my papers, but he's charged with 2 open counts of murder and 2 counts, I'm okay. 2 open counts of murder and 2 open counts of assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury with intent to kill.
You said the officers were called because someone thought they were injured. Was that somebody who was in the home with them, or was it a neighbor who heard something and went to investigate?
This was a relative that came to the home and discovered both victims in the residence injured or deceased.
And the suspect, were you guys alerted to where he was, or was he, you guys just found him just walking down the road, or?
I can say that the witness is the person who called it in, who is the relative, had been at that residence just prior to the crime happening. That witness had left the residence, had gone to the store, had come back to the residence, and discovered what had occurred. He knew who was at the residence before he left. He knew who was at the residence when he came back and who was not. And that's indicative of how we began to look for the suspect, or who the person of interest may have been.
So what time had this relative first, and was that relative also staying at the house?
I don't know the answer to that, whether they stayed there or not. I just know that that relative had been there previously, had left, and within a 15-minute span of time, when he returned, discovered the decedents.
And I'm sorry, did you say that that Marquez had been living with his grandparents?
Martinez was a
Martinez.
resident
Okay.
of that home with the grandparents.
Was it the grandparents' home or his home?
It was the grandparents'
Okay.
home.
I think we got it. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Cool.
And that is the end of the press conference. Again, we will have more information around this case and around this story coming up in our later programming. But for now, that's all we have time for. We will be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour.